morning. Today is the 20th of April 2022. We warmly welcome you to the Wednesday English Radio Kingswood podcast organized by the English Literary Association along with the Kingswood Media Network. With the fresh dawn of a new day, we come to you this morning to refresh your knowledge and start a meaningful day. We would like to remind you that you can also join the English Radio Kingswood. If you have English announcing skills, audio editing, or video editing skills, you could join us with the English Literary Association or with the Kingswood Media Network. After a short vacation, we come to you this morning to refresh your knowledge and start a meaningful day. Before starting the radio, we would like to remind you about the COVID-19 virus pandemic. You all already know that its latest variant, Omicron, is spreading rapidly throughout the world. Many people in Sri Lanka have been affected by this variant as well. Therefore, we must follow health precautions and make ourselves and everyone safe. With that message, we are going to move on to our proceedings.
Dear friends, last week we started to bring you the biography of our founder, Sir Louis Edmund Blaise. Last week we stated about the renaming of the school as Kingswood College. Today we are going to start its third part. In July 1896, the school's management was taken over by the Wesley's Mission, and in 1896 it was registered by the government as a grant-in-aid school. In December 1897, it moved into a large premise in Browning Street. The school's main hall was built there in 1898, and the boys' high school took the name of Kingswood. One of the many stories may be related here to illustrate Blaise's method of dealing with the boys he always addresses as gentlemen of Kingswood. He once threatened to cane a boy and turning to another boy's present, said, "Will somebody bring me the cane?" One of them was a bit too eager to obey the principal, and when he returned with the cane, it was he who got the caning, for being so keen on seeing another's punishment. So it is not surprising that such a principal was loved as well as respected.
In 1925, thanks to a generous donation by Sir John Reynolds, Kingswood College moved into the building it now occupies on what is known as Randall Hills, halfway between Candytown and Peradeniya. He always kept in close with his old pupils, helped them to solve their problems, shared their joys and sorrows, and did all he could, even in the later part of his life, to keep the flames of loyalty burning, as he said of the purpose of Kingswood Week at Kandy and the annual Kingswood service in Colombo. Blaise's service to the country as an educationalist was by the government. He was made a Justice of Peace for the Kandy district, where he was highly esteemed and held in affection by people of all races and creeds. In 1929, he was among those whom the Order of the British Empire was conferred. 20 years later, he was elevated to the rank of Commander in the same order. Dear friends, now we have approached the end of the third part of the biography of Sir Louis Edmund Blaise. So, it's time to move on to the next event. We will bring you its next part in the next week.
The theme of today's radio is about a special day which we celebrate every year and which has been an important day at the present. It is World Earth Day. Earth Day is an annual event on April 22nd to demonstrate support for environmental protection. First held on April 22nd, 1970, it now includes a wide range of events coordinated globally by earthday.org, including 1 billion people in more than 193 countries. The official theme for 2022 is Invest in Our Planet. In 1969, at a UNESCO conference in San Francisco, peace activist John McConnell proposed a day to honor the earth and the concept of peace, to be first observed in March 21st, 1970, the first day of spring in the Northern Hemisphere. This day of nature's equipoise was later sanctioned in a proclamation written by McConnell and signed by Secretary General at the United Nations. A month later, United States Senator Gaylord Nelson proposed the idea to hold a nationwide environmental teach-in on April 22, 1970. He hired a young activist, Dennis Hayes, to be the national coordinator. Nelson and Hayes renamed the event Earth Day. Dennis and his staff grew the event beyond the original idea for a teach-in to include the entire United States. More than 20 million people poured out on the streets, and the first Earth Day remains the largest single protest in human history.
Key non-environmentally focused partners played more major roles. Under the leadership of Labour leader Walter Rother, for example, the United Auto Workers, the UAW was the most instrumental outside financial and operational supporter of the first Earth Day. According to Hayes, without the UAW, the first Earth Day would have likely flopped. Nelson was later awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award in recognition of his work. The Earth Day 2021 theme was Restore Our Earth and features 5 primary programs: the Canopy Projects, Food and Environment, Climate Literacy, the Global Earth Challenge, and the Great Global Cleanup. During the week of Earth Day, earthday.org and lead organizers Education International, Hip Hop Caucus, and Earth Uprising organized 3 separate parallel climate action summits on climate literacy, environmental justice, and youth-led climate-focused issues. Earth Day.org also organized the second annual Earth Day live stream event featuring global activities, international leaders, and influencers. With that, we end the Theme of the Day segment for today.
NATO is a topic that got into discussion during the Russia-Ukraine war period. What do you know about NATO? For the Did You Know segment today, we bring you some important, interesting facts about NATO. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, also called the North Atlantic Alliance, is an intergovernmental military alliance between 30 member states, of which 28 are in Europe and the other 2 in North America. Established in the aftermath of World War II, the organization implements the North Atlantic Treaty, signed on the 4th of April 1949. NATO constitutes a system of collective security, whereby its independent member states agree to mutual defense in response to an attack by any external party. It was established during the Cold War in response to the threat posed by the Soviet Union. The alliance has remained in place since the dissolution of the Soviet Union and has been involved in military operations in Balkans, the Middle East, South Asia, and Africa. The NATO headquarters are located in Brussels, Belgium, while the headquarters of the Allied Command Operations is near Mons, Belgium. The organization's motto is Animus in Consilendo Liber.
Since its found, the admission of new member states has increased the alliance from the original 12 countries to 30. The most recent member state to be added to the NATO was North Macedonia on 27 March 2020. NATO currently recognized Bosnia and Herzegovina, Georgia and Ukraine as aspiring members. Enlargement has led to tensions with non-member Russia, which has demanded that NATO provide legal guarantees that it would stop expanding east to countries such as Ukraine, Georgia or Moldova. An additional 20 countries participate in NATO's Partnership for Peace program, with 15 other countries involved in institutionalized dialogue programs. The combined military spending of all NATO members in 2020 constitute over 57% of the global nominal total. Members agreed that they aim to reach or maintain the target defense spending at least 2% of their GDP by 2024.
Dear friends, for the past 3 weeks we discussed environmental pollution and measures that we can follow to minimize environmental pollution. Today, we are going to discuss about a convention that involves protecting the environment. CITES. The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora is an international agreement between governments. It aims to ensure that international trade in specimens of wild animals and plants does not threaten the survival of the species. CITES was drafted as a result of a resolution adopted in 1963 at a meeting of members of the World Conservation Union. The text of the convention was finally agreed upon a meeting of representatives of 80 countries in Washington, United States of America on 3rd of March 1973, and on 1st of July 1975, CITES entered force. The original of the convention was deposited with the depositing government in the English, French, and Spanish languages, each version being equally authentic. The convention is also available in Chinese and Russian.
Widespread information about the endangered status of many prominent species, such as the tiger and elephants, might make the need for such a convention seem obvious. But at the time when the ideas for CITES were first formed in the 1960s, international discussion of the regulation of wildlife trade for conservation purposes was something relatively new. In hindsight, the need for CITES is clear. Annually, the international wildlife trade is estimated to be worth billions of dollars and includes hundreds of millions of plant and animal specimens. The trade is diverse, ranging from live animals and plants to a vast array of wildlife products derived from them, including food products, exotic leather goods, wooden musical instruments, timber, tourist curies, and medicines.
Levels of exploitation of some animals and plant species are high, and the trade in them, together with other factors such as habitat loss, is capable of heavily depleting their populations and even bringing some species close to extinction. Many wildlife species in trade are not endangered, but the existence of an agreement to ensure the sustainability of the trade is important to safeguard these resources for the future. Because the trade in wild animals and plants crosses borders between countries, the effort to regulate it requires international cooperation to safeguard certain species from overexploitation. CITES was conceived in the spirit of such cooperation. Today, it accords varying degrees of protection to more than 37,000 species of animals and plants, whether they are traded as live specimens, fur coats, or dried herbs.
I have a dream of what I wanna be. I wanna be free. That's what my heart keeps telling me. Give me your hand.
We'll find a way.
There's people out there
They feel the same.
if we help each other. I just know we can succeed. We are one, but we are different. We from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl. Come together and share our dreams. We'll be amongst the stars, and we know that it's destiny. And we are unity. We are unity.
I do believe, oh, I believe in destiny. It's up to me to make it into reality.
Give me your hand.
We'll find a way.
People out there,
Let's feel the same.
if we help each other,
I just know we can succeed.
we are one, but we are different. We from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl. Come together and share our dreams. We'll be amongst the stars, and we know that it's destiny. That we are unity. No matter where you're from or who you are, if we can find a common place to be, then we are friends. We are one, but we are different. We from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. Oh. We are one, but we are different. We from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl. Come together and share our dreams. We be amongst the stars, and we know that it's destiny. That we are unity. We are unity.
We, the members of the English Literary Association, are bringing you this segment to help you in building your English vocabulary, so that you will be able to learn how to use language in daily instances. Last week, we brought you a dialogue between a librarian and a student. This week, we are bringing you a dialogue between a driver and a passenger. Imagine that Mesith is the driver and Ishika is the passenger.
Hi, where are you going?
To the train station, please.
Shall I put your bag in the trunk?
No thanks. I'll keep it with me. How long will it take to the station?
About 30 minutes. Are you in a hurry?
Yes, I'm a bit late.
Here's the expressway. Can I have 300 rupees for the fee?
Here you are.
Are you catching a train at the station?
Yes, I'm going to the beach to meet some friends.
Okay, here is the station.
Thank you. How much is it?
550 rupees.
Here's 600 rupees. Keep the change.
Thanks. Don't forget your things.
Okay, bye. Have a good day.
Dear friends, now we have approached the end of the program. It is time to say goodbye to you who have shared knowledge, information and attitudes with us so far. We are Pasindu Rathnasiri, Ajmal Amsa, Buddika Thilakarathna, Minindu Pitiduwa, Mesith Kudagama, Ishika Daneesh, Thevinu Rathnayaka and Kulith Bandara. Scriptwriting by Pasindu Rathnasiri. Technical support by Yasanjith Bandara. Now we are going to wind up today's program with the hope of meeting you at the dawn of next Wednesday. We wish you all a healthy and successful time until we meet again. We are Radio Kingswood.